Our last reader of the night is Scott Hammer, who is in town from Philadelphia. Y'all buy his books, please. He's got a brand new chapbook called Somebody, Some Hollow, which has just come out from Horseless Press. If you don't know Horseless Press, they're a really, really fantastic place to find some great poetry these days. They're for sale in the back. Also, please support Malvern, buy books. We really need you to buy books. You know, if you need recommendations, plenty of people can help you with that. Thanks again for everybody for coming out. Scott Hammer is the author of the poetry book, chapbook, Somebody, Some Hollow, from Horseless Press. His writing has appeared in places like Smoking Glue Gun, Hill Journal, La Petite Zine, New Weekly, the Baltimore Review, Vector Press, and others. He is currently writing in Philadelphia. Thanks again, Scott. Thanks for coming. This is awesome. This is like, it's really cold in Philadelphia. It snowed last week, and I wish it was hotter here. It's like, it's not hot.
No.
I know, I'm sorry. That's already said. I should have said, but it's okay. It's still, it's beautiful. Beautiful. I hope it lasts forever. I'm going to do a couple from this book, which is here, and then there are other ones that look like this in the back. And then a couple that are short. So, okay. Last night I dreamed the whole world was a house that ate its children. Just a little grin on the foundation. And then on waking, I forgot to be afraid to come home. Made some calls to the soil and clay, left messages with tornado assistance, and got to shelter, read as things were beginning to be believable. The moment when rain was approaching, but nothing felt well. So these don't have titles. I haven't titled a poem in like 2 years, and I don't think I'm ever going to do it again. It's like really liberating. But then it's like I don't know how to. What do you say? Like this, there's asterisks at the top of every one, so it's like either every poem is called asterisk, which is really lazy, or like the opposite, or just kind of like the words just kind of in your face, just they kind of come at you with no warning. So that's like. We'll see what happens. Sounds like this. Some horns biting in crooked corners of the human rainbow. Hardened blood caked on the edges of your protons doing the locomotion. It isn't from sadness that you sleep in the sun. Scratch tiny dots around your ankles, tweeze barbs from your outer animation, and spray tenuous sentences into a crowded street. Someone is listening, clicking aimlessly on the elements bound to breath, twisting the antennae, faraway signals into that pumping thing you orbit, filling up on itches, the underside a riot bristling, a brick through the portal between your teeth where you reconstruct being. You say, I need only a few moments of belief to be overthrown, when belief is like the page was open without your knowing. And this one doesn't have a title, but as I said. But this one came out from Smoking Glue Gun, so this is a good opportunity to thanks luckily Taylor and just everybody, my friends from Austin who came out, which is kind of part of why I'm here in the first place. So thanks to everybody. This is fantastic. So this one's called Asterisk, and it sounds like this. The page is open, a descent into cell walls, wells of matter, gray things, a top coat of militia, crowning and badges inside your belief system, wears cufflinks on the foremost hole, a closing of the sleeve, protestation, but the page is open. Gatling guns are more modern than pinpricks, less available than your skin. Who wrote the book of love is tidying up, because it hurts when you say when. I want something different, you say, another war, and your face turns to dirt. Camouflaged indifference, illusioned by the shell of repeated warnings that the page is open. You have nothing to fear but the henchmen of death, who march out like armies march, make inconclusive convulsions. Too cold? No. Dead? No. Separate. What do you feel when you say casualty? The one of your bone in the microscope just looked like jelly. Everything in the body, a kind of confiture. Avez-vous les frissons? Fraise is what my element said to the question of, what do you look like inside? The page is open. I repeat, cross casualties doling pain in each other's life sockets. It all comes out unwound. It's the footage of dialect. One's gun sells to one other's holster. One summer of war sweats, 33 degrees Celsius at night is the overture to your wet bed. Despite the fans buzzing, is it not off with your head? That lonely stamina, thread of the warp, splayed for the crowd, the spoil of conflict, because your phone call was crass. Those things you mumbled, what did you mean by translate? I told you the page is open. When you say translate, what things did you mean? This whole time, I thought it was a symphony, that the band was just tuning up. Okay. Words. Striking that pose while swimming in viscera, because the intent of anonymity is not the same as its effect. Standing still for the flash to go off consecrates an image. What came before the fall is like when it was 1 minute ago. You don't remember, huh? Admission to the viscera party requires black tie and bathing suit. But something beautiful happened on the way to the roots, twisting so far back that I couldn't even contain it. Didn't think I'd arrive, wouldn't expect it on the top 10 reasons for being. Sitting alone at the end of next century, making conversation with the ornament of sconces, talking back in flickers, stirring a drink with my wrist, those little gyrations in the core of the earth exceeded their limit. Methods of destruction, intent on kissing the dark, exchanging numbers in the code room, when age is a function of silvering. I saw that self doing the backstroke, taking deep end breaths. The place is packed, everybody in the pool. Now that one's for Dan now. Swimmer. Two more from this, and then like one or two more. Because. Okay. This morning of war, where the fight song does not rhyme, slanted handwriting becoming one long drone. The mantra of bolted steel that makes the instrument. The war pamphlet said, do not be modern when modern means are incompatible with past ends. Quote, how can you be anything when authorship comes from your checkbook? It takes only a morning to sign off on whatever makes you smaller and afraid. When they kick at your front door, you say, I surrender myself, but it isn't you they want. It's your nerve endings and the fractals of your heartbeat. Pinches of the people you love that disappear in frames when fingers come unstuck. I was going to read the last one in this, but then it's like, then you know how it ends. So, you know, it's like, I mean, it definitely, like, it fucking ends, but, like, there's, so, yeah. I'll do some others, just a couple that were kind of at the same time as some of these, but they're like, if this is like terrestrial, this is more outer space, so I felt like, so they didn't go in here, but they still exist. So this one is called Asterisk, and it sounds like this. Grains in the dunes of your CO2, there are shelves to thumb, an encyclopedia of the world's #1 godheads, ugly animals else, sashes and ribbons on their medals, make for a decent recipe. Forking over the prize piece, a little head table on my breath, the frost of discovery, pyramids where my prayer hit apex, following the scent of villainy, twirling positron, the tip points to dark heaven, burning things and branded stratosphere inside the neural cave. My body in ceremony is a type of paresthesia, so let us pray. There is chimera in you still, slick mutant genes from the last time you were coded, not ready to sound out your name. Those conglomerate things collapsed in your voice box. Explain to me what's happening this season. So much light spilling in, cathexis of it, knowing that exists only in text once a year, if ever. I feel an image coming on of overexposure. This indelible shock of being blinded, at odds with my eyelids. Dig it. In secret, we speak of visible nodes. I feel like, so every time I had this line that's like, explain to me what's happening this season, which I realized later is actually about Game of Thrones, because for those of you who are excited for it, me too, but like, I don't know anybody's name, like it doesn't, I can't, like I can't, and it's like, oh, it's the guy, the house of, I wanna, but I just wait for, violence. So this is the last one, and it sounds like this. So in advance of that, just thanks again. This has been really, really cool. And so there are poems back there and on the walls. And outside probably too. Pages of winter people cobbling temporary houses out of shivers yell out that hollow sound as the day reverberates in a jug. If I must work, then give me the wrench, to God at decades-old globes, to outlast geographic planes, injected with river vernacular, an interstice per minute. A draft of my long, shameful face lets the marrow inside, all the animals queued at the door, waiting for a St. Francis pose to show in the arches of my constitution. Glassed in, smoke of tetchy sentinel breath, fogging constituent ions into crystal, what it's like to preserve while shedding layers of loose leaf, lost among the glowing and frozen composite midnight. Thank you, Austin.